up, rise and shine. It's a brand new day with Mo and News. It's time to have your say. She's got the scoop, the stories, all the latest trends. Mo's got the news, let's hear it. My dear friends, from politics to showbiz, no story's too small. Mo covers it all. She's got the inside call, her voice so smooth, like honey in the summer sun. With Mo on the mic, you know the news is always fun. Mornings with Mo, the best newsy news in the world. With her style so classic and her stories unfurled, from morning till night, she's got us in the know. Turn on your radio, let Mo's newsy news flow.
Good morning, everyone. Today is August the 5th, and we are starting out with a public service announcement for all male safety. Apparently, in terror and horrification last night, I learned that perimenopause can last for like 6 to 10 years before the actual menopause. Spoken as someone who's been waking up just drenched in sweat and dealing with lovely hot flashes. And I was on my walking pad this morning telling Mr. Mo I was getting, a supplement to help and a cooling blanket. And he said, well, why don't you just, wear a fan or use a fan? Now, his life was saved because I was on the walking pad and didn't desire to go throttle him allegedly in Minecraft. But yeah, wrong answer. Just tell wife if she is having, semi-hot flashes. Buy whatever Amazon tells you. Do not say just use a fan and talk about how you're always cool in the evening because you have 2 fans. It's not just for safety. Just tell her get cooling blanket and don't say anything else. Mr. Mo was like, are you going to need bail money after I said that? And I said, probably. But I don't have it as bad as and absolutely. Lady Autumn Sky has a YouTube channel. We have a lot of people with YouTube channels. Please go support them. I think a rising ship raises all tides. I'm afraid that I haven't yet seen her channel because I've been it's back to school week. It is back to school week, and I am hanging on for dear life. Thank you, Lady Autumn Sky. I'm pretty sure I'm not pregnant with twins, but hopefully we'll figure this out, and the cooling blanket that's on its way here will help because, oh my goodness. Anywho, I am not sleeping anyway as rough as this Olympic gold medalist, Thomas Kikon, who was spotted sleeping in a park bench or in a park after ripping Olympic Village conditions. Sleeping on the ground isn't ideal, but it's better than a cardboard bed. At least that's what appeared to be the logic of Olympic gold medalist Thomas Kikon, who was spotted sleeping in a park outside Olympic Village. The Saudi rower Hussein Azriel posted a photo of him fast asleep on a white towel under a tree on Saturday, tagging the location as inside the Olympic Village. The Italian swimmer who won gold in the 100-meter backstroke had already complained publicly about the accommodations in the Olympic Village. And we saw those. I definitely will do that, Lady Autumn Sky. That is good advice. We saw those cardboard beds. I could not imagine sleeping on one of those. Now, I will say that between child 5 and 4, I dragged Mr. Mo into the Tempur-Pedic store and made him buy a Tempur-Pedic mattress for me. I can be a little bit irrational and hard to talk out of things at 8 months pregnant and done with everything. I can tell you that. Let's see. But we've seen those beds, and those beds look uncomfortable. They're cardboard with like the, I mean, and honest to God, it looks like organza stacked up together as a mattress. It's just, thank you for the idea. I have a cooling pillow, but I might just set up an igloo in my bedroom. There is no air conditioning in the village. It's hot. The food is bad. Kikon told The Sun many athletes move for this reason. It's not an alibi or an excuse. It's the reality of what perhaps not everyone knows. I mean, again, if I'm a top athlete, I would think that sleep and getting good sleep would be critical. And you would think that they would have better mattresses. I'm disappointed that I didn't make the final, but I was too tired. It's hard to sleep both at night and in the afternoon. Here, I really struggle between the heat and the noise. The Italian team declined to add an additional comment to The Sun. The IOC has come under fire for lack of air conditioning and cardboard box, green or anti-smexy time beds. There's not enough of certain foods also, like complex proteins, easy to break down, that athletes need. They're running out of eggs, chicken, and certain carbs. So there's quality food, and then they're serving meat raw. They're not doing a great job. So all in all, Paris has not come out looking very good in this Olympics as far as planning and everything else. And we've got more Olympic news about how Paris dropped the ball. And to that point, not many people are fighting for the 2028 Olympics anymore. And good morning, everyone. Sorry, it's usually I do roll call and I thank everyone. Thank you, mods, and thank you, everyone, for joining. Like I said, this is back to school week. I'm a little Twitter-pated, so this is kind of a goofy Monday, and then we should settle back into normal by this evening. Oh, awesome, Captain Kern. The U.S. team is very well fed. My friend's husband, Nick, is the performance chef. How awesome. Can I get a performance chef? Because I would be really good at eating good food if someone just cooked it for me and put it right in front of me. In a stunning case of embezzlement, a New York clerk is accused of swiping $1 million from a village over 19 years and is forced to give up her pension in a first of its kind decision. So I don't know that I have ever heard of a public employee losing a pension, but yeah, if you steal $1 million, oh, what a sweet act of service. And I'm glad you got good food and you had people taking care of you during that time. So what a great guy. Well, eco-friendly doesn't get you good night's sleep. Get one lady in there with a hot flash. The Olympics are going down. An upstate village clerk accused of swiping more than $1 million, about the same amount as her town's annual budget, will give up her pension in a historic New York forfeiture case. Disgraced former Addison employee Ursula Stone, 55, allegedly stole more than $1,170,000 in village funds over 19 years, and it's now the first politician to fork over her pension under New York's anti-corruption law, state and county officials announced late last week. This case represents the most complete and, to be frank, shocking breach of trust I have encountered in 30 years as a Steuben County prosecutor, Steuben County District Attorney Brooks Baker said in a statement. The reality is that some real heads-up detection work by members of the state comptroller staff, if they hadn't actually looked at that, it would still be ongoing. She would still be stealing. Stone appeared in Steuben County Court on Thursday and agreed to forfeit her pension of $1,920 a month. Well, is she going to jail for the love of all that is Fritos? State Comptroller Thomas DiNapoli said it marked New York's first pension forfeiture under anti-corruption measures passed as part of an ethics reform package in 2011 and expanded in 2017. Though the law has never been wielded in court before, Stone's case was a perfect fit because of her alleged crimes that, quote, impacted the village on a day-to-day basis, Baker said, according to the outlet. A 2022 fraud audit by the village, kind of got them looking like, hey, well, yeah, she doesn't have a choice, but I'm wondering if there's going to be jail time. You know, I'm glad she's losing her pension, but what happens to actual penalties? Uh, she prepared payroll, maintained annual or manual leave records, and processed health insurance buyouts, as well as unpaid leave payments, all without the approval of the mayor or other officials. Tiffany Henyard, did you follow this woman? Stone allegedly used her access to the books for her own benefit, giving herself raises, taking time off without deducting from her leave credits, cutting checks that granted herself unauthorized health insurance in buyouts from village funds. How did no one catch this? I mean, look, Mr. Mo knows that I sometimes sneak and get like craft stuff with the grocery money, but it's not $1 million worth of that. You know, the invest. Oh, only retirees or resigned employees are allowed to take such actions, according to a lot of the things. So they finally found it. They gradually uncovered her scheme. She resigned in March 2023, but not for before allegedly writing herself another check for $26,613. However, the board did stop payment on the check before Stone could cash it. How in the hell does this woman still have any place near a checkbook? Let's see. For well over a decade, Ursula Stone took advantage of her position of trust of Addison residents to systematically steal over $1 million from her community. Thanks to the work of DeNapoli's office and their partnership with the district attorney and state police, her crimes were uncovered and she now faces the consequence of her actions. While she owned up to stealing more than $100,000, she contests, the $1 million mark. Now, she was ordered to be held on $20,000 bails during her arraignment, and she is due back in court in January 24th. I know, how the heck did she keep the freaking checkbook, and how is no one double checking these checks that people are signing? Again, I mean, the way it works in my marriage is if we have a big purchase, we have to agree on it. If we want to use the credit card for something big, we have to agree on it. It's not, something I can just go out. Well, okay, I could, being of free will and all that jazz, go to the Sailor Moon store and just wipe it all out on the credit card. But I don't. I don't, because that would hinder my family, and that's kind of, people are just gross sometimes. In what the world is this man doing free? An escaped kidnapping defendant ended up abducting the same woman again. I mean, I don't think it's like Circle K. I don't think on your 10th kidnapping you get a free one, but it is 2024, y'all. I do not know. Less than 2 months after kidnapping a woman, a fugitive has done it again, say police in Columbus, Ohio. Quintel Maurice Bagley, 38, who fled cops in mid-June, allegedly reemerged to abduct the same person as before. Cops in Grove City say Friday that in the morning, the woman said Bagley kidnapped her from her home and drove her to the west side of the nearby city of Columbus. Quote, the female said she was able to get away from Bagley unharmed, they wrote. She last saw Bagley near Eureka Avenue and West Broad Street. Bagley has a history with this female, including a recent kidnapping offense on June 13th, 2024. How did he get bail? I can't. Or how did they not catch this man? On Friday, Grove Police Lieutenant Jason Stern said that Bagley wore dark clothing and had a mask covering part of his face during the second kidnapping, according to Columbus CBS affiliate WBNS. You should treat him as armed and dangerous, he said. We're asking for any help anyone can offer. If you see us, call him, or if you see him, call us right away. Police had previously said that Bagley abducted the same woman from her home in the early morning of June 13th. They found her car abandoned and hours later found her at a local gas station. As soon as they arrested Bagley, who once served 10 years in prison for charges including kidnapping, in exchange, charges including SA were dropped. Now, why we would drop an SA assault? One of the most horrible things you can do to another person, and we're going to drop it because, well, whatever. I can't. Now, he is currently on the offender registry in Ohio. Body cams from June show Grove City cops escorting Bagley out of Fairfield Medical Center in the city of Lancaster. Handcuffed behind his back, he managed to yank himself out of the officer's grip and sprint away through the park area. Authorities recently announced a total of $10,000 reward leading to his capture. Okay, for the love of all that is Cheetos, so you had what, like a loose grip on a convict as you're walking out of the hospital? Who does that? It is hard to prove, and I get that, but I also feel like some of these plea deals, in order to win, we sort of invalidate other crimes, and it ticks me off. On a lighter note, business in the front, party in the back is back. Inside the wild world of teen mullet champ contestants, where it seems like a party, but it's all business. Y'all, I see my hometown Walmart did represent. I'm just kidding. I don't think this guy is from my hometown. If you're not sure how to style your mullet, then fret no more. The USA Mullet Championship site has some suggestions. There's the Kentucky Waterfall, the Pompadour, the Beaver Tail, the Rat Tail, and the Shag. America's fiercest unshorn competitors are currently vying for the title of Mullet Champ in an annual contest raising money for wounded warriors through their own business in the front, party in the back styles, and the competition is clear from the names. There's the West Coast Wave, for example, the No Doubter, the Nunamaker, the Okie Mud Flap, and the Hurricane. Dear Lord, I love this timeline. Sometimes this timeline can be horrible, and then you get mullet nicknames. The style's heyday was in the high air 80s, but the term only entered the public lexicon thanks to the Beastie Boys' 1994 hit Mullet Head. During its ascent, the mullets tended to be popular with white dudes who played rock music or hockey and incredibly cool and trendy for the time. The Mullet Champ site explains, recent women's fashions have involved a lot of things that were at one point not long ago considered tacky. Yes, mom jeans and scrunchies, they're still, look, I don't understand the high-waisted jeans. I got a short torso. No. Men, women, and teen and children's are embracing the hairdo for the mullet championships, which will, now in that, okay, you know what? If my curly hair could look like that half the time, I swear to goodness, I'd feel okay about my life. The championship will award cash and other prizes later this month to winners in each categories. All financial donations accompanying the votes will go to Jared Allen's Homes for Wounded Warriors, a nonprofit set up by a former NFL player. Here are a few of the History teen contestants and their mothers, and they share their hair care regimes and growing efforts. Well, there you go. This is Will Joyner, 17. Will Joyner looks and speaks as if his picture should appear alongside a definition of mullet in the dictionary. Quote, I'm just a big, hairy American winning machine. The 6'1" rising senior and lineman tells The Independent before getting on his Harley and posing for a picture taken by his mom. He finished fifth last year in the mullet champ contest. The style atop his head might just be in his blood. My dad had one. My uncle had one. All their friends had them, he said, adding he inspired another family member to adopt the do. My grandpa's growing one right now. He said he's blind, though, so he can't see it. I can't. I don't even know what to say after that sentence. I mean, I'm sure he'll be able to feel it like Braille on the back. Okay, I give up. Let's see. Will started growing the mullet 4 years ago. The lush curls now cascading down his shoulder blades. Those curls are natural, which he proudly boasts. And he lets his hair air dry. So there you go. If you want luscious, curly curly mullet, air drying is best. Let's see. Oh, this is a look that's appearing in a lot of the middle schoolers I see. This look, y'all, I can't. And he's wearing a picture of himself. It's Inception of mullet t-shirt. God bless America. Oh, Lord. This is Chasen Sachs, 13, a third-time entrant into the U.S. Mullet Championship. Chasen Sachs first began growing his mullet when, like the rest of the world, he couldn't get his hair cut during the coof. I was really into the Cardinals, and Harrison Badger was my favorite player, and he had one, the 13-year-old baseball fan tells The Independent. So I talked my mom into it, and then I kept growing it ever since. She said, you have to keep it tangle-free or whatever. If I don't do that, I have to cut it. So he's just, using conditioner and, curly girl method, I guess, and he's going to keep that mullet. He has earned a following around his hometown of Wellsville, Missouri, because, why not? His mom made business cards with his picture and entered QR stuff so, they can get him the championship. He's going for the gold. Oh, this next one. Oh, dear, y'all. I mean, Killian Todd, age 13, the full poodle mullet. The full poodle mullet is here. And I don't know, but he looks like he's going to a Whitesnake concert, and I'm kind of okay with it. Illinois boy Killian Todd was on a family vacation in the Lake of Ozarks 4 years ago when he decided to follow his decades-old cousin to grow a mullet. The teenage cousin lasted a few months, but Killian has kept going. He did actually cut it once in the beginning, and he cried, so we let it grow back. I looked weird without it. You know what? If it makes you feel good, sweetie, you go ahead and grow that curly perm mullet, and, you feel awesome. Oh my gosh. The mom gave him a perm. The mom took him to a salon to get him a perm. All right. I don't know about all that. That's like $300 worth of perm right there. Well, I wasn't going to say anything. He's a little boy. But maybe a style that, decentuates the ears. I don't know. He'll grow into them. It'll be sweet. Oh, what in the Guns N' Roses is this? With his saxophone, a young Bill Clinton. Kane Grissinger, 16. Vanessa Grissinger wasn't too thrilled when her husband took their son for a haircut 3 years ago, and he returned with a mullet, a style the boy had never heard of until his dad showed him a picture. Where did you get this haircut from? I learned it from you, Dad. I learned it from you. I feel like we need the Dare commercials back. Like, no mullets. The 80s must die. Come on, no more 80s fashion. We have been traumatized enough. Let's see. I will say I have seen this all over my town. I'm not gonna lie, this is just a normal Walmart thing for me. Half of our football players have mullets. Not that it helps them win any games, but, if it makes them feel happy about themselves, go ahead. You're only young and teenage once. Have all the goofy hairstyles you want. In more bad news for Paris because, well, they just can't win for losing this year. Two triathletes who swam in the Seine are ill, with one in the hospital for E. coli. It's almost like if you connected the dots and you put them in a really disgusting river, you're going to end up with someone with the bubble guts. Two Olympic triathletes who swam in the Seine last week were sick, including one in the hospital with E. coli, as doubts grow about Monday's mixed event. Can't they swim in a pool? I mean, I know it defeats the purpose of a triathlon, but in the absence of a clean river, can we let them swim in an Olympic pool? I mean, again, I am not the biggest sportsologist, but it would seem in the absence of any great, you know, not health hazards, you would just let them swim in a pool or find a lake. Let's see. Belgium's team has withdrawn from the race as it does not have a replacement for Claire Michel, who was hospitalized since last Wednesday. The Swiss athlete Adrienne Brifford, who suffered from an infection of her gastrointestinal tract, though he maintains, that it's impossible to say if it was linked to the water quality in the Seine, Team GB and Telegraph Sports understand they are fully fit and no athletes are experiencing any ill effects from Team Great Britain. Now, several outbreaks of rain, including thunderstorms last week, prompted anxiety for the organizers. Even though they spent billions of dollars to try to create overflow problems, it is still a problem in these cities that when you have torrential downpour or rain, you can create overflow and lead to untreated water going into the river. Now, again, this is not something that was news. They did spend almost $1 billion to try to fix this, but organizers have the option of moving the scheduled race to Tuesday if levels prove too big. Now, I don't know. I think this was incredibly risky. You have elite athletes going into what is essentially like a cesspool petri dish. Now, I don't know how the Seine stacks up to other rivers, but if you're near about the Indiana area, I wouldn't go, swimming in the White River for the exact same reason. So there you go. There's your little bit of Indiana, advice. In a little bit of a heartwarming story, a boy 9 years old lost his prosthetic leg on vacation. Hours asking for help, his family raised enough money for a new one. So what an awesome, story of people helping each other. It happened so quickly. A grateful Monica Swindell tells People. A Texas grandmother said she is grateful for the overwhelming response to an online fundraiser she started after her grandson lost his prosthetic leg in the Gulf of Mexico. When Monica Swindell and her family set out for Galveston from their home in Waco on Sunday, July 28th, the goal was to have fun, a family vacation. But when her 9-year-old grandson, Jace, who has special needs, lost his leg in the excitement to get into the water, his family was devastated. Wanting to help, Swindell posted about what happened on a local group on Facebook in the hopes that someone would be able to find it. But with the new school year approaching fast, the Swindell family quickly realized that Jace would need a new leg and fast, so she created a GoFundMe on Wednesday, July 31st. In the message on the fundraising site, Monica said she had contacted North Texas-based Stability Prosthetics, who did what they could to help the family. They are only charging us $7,000 for the new one. I know it should be a lot more, she wrote. According to the Washington Post, prosthetic legs can cost between $5,000 to over $50,000. Swindell went on to say that Jace's parents, who are currently expecting a new baby, the prosthetic, while necessary, was even more difficult to pay for. Fortunately, just hours after posting the family's story, the fundraiser exceeded its $7,000 goal to get Jace the new prosthetic. It happened so quickly. Within 5 hours, Swindell tells police about online support. Now Jace is ready to stand poised for the new school year. Everyone was so amazing, Monica said. I hated seeing my grandson without his leg. I hated seeing my son upset that it was gone, but we got through it and it's going to be good. And I can just say God is good. So I love those kind of stories. I love those kind of stories where people get together and try to help someone just for the, sheer thing of being human and helping someone that needs help. And I'm so glad that this little boy gets to start school and that the company worked with them, probably only charging them the actual building costs. So great story all around. And sometimes we need stories like this in the middle of all the craziness because, dear Lord, is there a lot of craziness. Like this chick, a Pleasantville woman arrested after allegedly trying to poison her husband with eye drops. Okay, now, y'all, how many stories have I done lately with eye drops? You think people have access to the Google machine? I mean, we literally, each one of us, for the most part, have a small mini computer with which to find out evidence and information. Now, why she wouldn't have realized you're probably not going to get away with this with all of the news stories in the media where other people tried this and didn't get away with it, I don't know. Not that I'm encouraging criminals to get smarter because I want them caught, but still, you have access to a computer. I know. I'm telling y'all, if one of my kids get pink eye and they have removed all the daggone eye drops because people are using them for shenanigans, I'm going to lose it. I'm just going to lose it. Everything is not rosy in this Pleasantville. An Iowa woman from the teeny city that bears the same name as the 1998 film Pleasantville is accused of poisoning her husband with eye drops at least twice last year, according to police. Daisy Zantjigger, 39, was arrested last Tuesday, more than a year after she allegedly spiked her husband's drink with the over-the-counter product that contains ingredients, including the harmful ingredients that you put in eye drops. The eye drops were placed in her spouse's drink on 2 separate occasions in July 2023, according to a criminal complaint obtained by WHO 13. Daisy did admit during an interview to administering a harmful substance on 2 occasions, eye drops, to her husband, the complaint stated about the July 2023 incidents, according to Law and Crime. Her husband survived the alleged poisonings, but was hospitalized after struggling to breathe after drinking the tainted beverages, KCCI reported. Ingesting eye drops can lead to sleepiness, low blood pressure, and a dangerously slow heart rate. Now, why you would put anything don't do this. Again, just don't. Unless your life goal is to get a snapped episode, then don't. When you ingest it, it can very rapidly cross the blood barrier and have toxic effects within your blood and your brain. So typically we have what's called a blood-brain barrier. This means that most medications and certain things do not cross over into the very sensitive area of your chemo anxiety machine that runs your meat suit. But certain medicines can cross over, and this is one of them. And I swear to goodness, if there's a rash of pink eye and I have no eye drops, we will all hear about it. We all heard about my night sweats. We will all hear about it. So it definitely, it affects your central nervous system. It affects, your autonomic nervous system. So it depresses that. Your autonomic nervous system takes care of breathing and blinking and all the things you don't really think about. So that's not a great part of the brain to attack. More serious symptoms can include falling into a coma and seizures, according to Mount Sinai. Daisy was charged with a pair of counts each of administering a harmful substance, and DV, injury or mental illness, according to the station. She's being held in jail on a $12,000 cash or surety bond. The couple lives in Pleasantville, Iowa, which is about 25 miles southeast of Des Moines and has a population of less than 2,000 people. The city's motto is "The name says it's all." With safe streets, quality schools, and blooming industry, Pleasantville area provides an excellent hub for all businesses and opportunities, and we ban eye drops. I mean, oh, well, Captain Kern, I will be keeping you in my thoughts and prayers, and hopefully, we can get you through this week with maybe taking your mind off stuff, and, it will fix some stuff and you will feel better, because I know how not feeling like yourself is almost another stress. It's a bigger stress because you just can't figure out what's going on. So hopefully they have answers for you, and, you'll be able to figure some things out, because that's the hardest thing, not knowing what's going on and how to help or do better with it. What in the Walmart rapture is going on here? Well, not Tim Scott getting married. I mean, he can get married and do whatever. I love how the videos never match on the post, because I don't care that Tim Scott's getting married, but I can see how if someone just dropped in at that section, they're like, well, what's the matter with Tim Scott getting married? And I'm like, nothing. They just don't put the right videos up. A New Jersey woman is suing a funeral home, claiming that her father's remains were never buried and sat in a basement for 31 years. What in the Hades is going on here? A New Jersey woman is suing the funeral home tasked with burying her father's remains after learning his ashes sat collecting dust in the building's basement for 3 decades. Oh, hell yes, clean them out. Show no mercy, allegedly in Minecraft. Debbie Ergra, 69, and her family had unknowingly been visiting an empty gravesite at Mount Olivet Cemetery in Middletown for 31 years, since her father passed away in 1993, she told News 12. Debbie had long believed that her father, George Jones, a military veteran, was buried alongside her mother, sister, and brother in the family's plot. I'd go to see him on Father's Day and his birthday, and even the VFW, because he was a vet. They would put a flag on his grave. It's like we all thought he was there, Debbie told the local outlet. However, in June, she was contacted by a man with an organization that retrieves unclaimed veterans' remains to give them proper burials. The man shockingly told her he had found her father's remains inside a box in the basement of John F. Flagler Funeral Home. The news was devastating. Yes, I'm finishing up with this story. I thank you, not Captain Kern, Wolfram. Thank you. I will be doing a dual stream about Sarah Boone's hearing, so I am going to end this early and then going to dual stream with Baker. So again, Monday is not my best time on back to school week, and then I'm already Twitter pated about getting that right. So this has been a little bit more of a shaky morning, but by tomorrow I should be all good, or we'll still be alive. Let's be honest. We have I have low goals on the first weeks of school. It hurts a lot. It's absolutely unbelievable. My father should have been in the cemetery with the rest of his family. Debbie says in 1993, the funeral home assured her that her father had been laid to rest in the cemetery with her family. They said that they agreed that they would bury him. The family now filed a lawsuit against Mount Olivet Cemetery and John F. Flagler Funeral Home to hold them accountable and ensure that no other families will have to endure the heartbreak that they have felt upon discovery. The owner of the funeral home says Jonas's cremation services were all handled with the utmost care, and that they had tried to contact Debbie about the status of her father's remains numerous times, according to WCBS. All attempts by our funeral home to seek final disposition instructions from the Jones family next of kin went unanswered until we attempted to provide an honorable burial of this man's cremated remains in our state veterans cemetery. But Debbie disputed their claim. That's false. Nobody ever contacted me, she shot back. Debbie says she lives only 5 minutes from the funeral home and wasn't hard to track down if they had attempted to reach out to her. The devastated daughter says she now, is caring for the remains right now, as well as the cremation certificate. She hopes that she will be able to lay him to rest properly. And I can't imagine the betrayal. I can't imagine the heartache, but your dad's watching you. He knows what you meant. I honestly believe in the thought behind things or behind actions. So he knows you are thinking about him every Father's Day. He knows that you visited him and you kept, the family plot going. I understand how difficult I would be devastated, but I also hope that it gives you comfort thinking, he saw all of the good that you intended. And to me, as a parent, that would be enough for me if I was looking down on heaven. Of course, I've already told my children to taxidermy me, and I will hold the candy bowl for Halloween. I don't know if that's going to happen, to be honest, but we could just have me like one of those little cement geese on the front deck people have, where they dress them up for holidays. I don't know. Or recycle me. I don't know. I don't really care. Just have. I've told my Mr. Mo and I've told my kids, look, I will write a list and I would like you to invite all the people on that list. And then I'm going to have you standing there at the tent, because we won't do it in church because what comes next. But I would like you to have them all stand up as you read their names and then give them the double deuces from me for the final time. That's all I really want on my celebration of life. After that, it's parties and fun, but I would like to tell a couple people off. Nothing like carrying a grudge all the way to the end. As I have always said, I am the world's worst Christian, but we have Steve Gosney as the world's best Christian, so we have a spectrum on the internet. I hope you guys had a good time. I tried to add some better, funner, lighter stories in to get us going on this Monday because, dear goodness, this timeline is super weird. I am sending you all over to Baker's. I will be dual streaming with him the Sarah Boone hearing. So hope to see you guys over there. Sorry for it being a little shorter this morning, but that way we can do it. And I will see you guys over there. Have a lovely day if you're not skipping over. And I will see you tonight for Nightly Newsy News and try to get some newsy nuggets and some political news over on Politically Mo and Fluffy to Fit stuff going too. See you guys in just a little bit. Bye.